Welcome guys, back to another Story Survivor video. This is part 3 of the series where I'm going to be talking about the Iris story from Season 1 to Season 3. Let's get into it. So it starts off right after the, Zero Heart and the Perfector 1. The Zero Heart explodes, sucking the Artemis Chapter 2 map into a black hole. And from there on, everything gets sucked in and we get taken to this void known as the Epicenter. The Epicenter is basically my version of the black hole, and essentially it's just there for a whole day, and then we get teleported to Iris. Essentially, Hunter's there, and he's just there chilling for the entire day, and then the next day when it opens up, Hunter gets sucked in, including us, and then we get introduced to the third realm, Iris. The third realm, which honestly is way better than Artemis Chapter 2. It blew up in popularity so much. I'm so glad that you guys actually like Iris, as, you know, I took my heart and passion into it. But anyway, we get sucked in, teleport to the third realm, Iris. Welcome in. So, what happens is that Hunter is studying the land. He crashes right next to the plaza as a POI, or a landmark, named Crash Course. I don't know if you guys have seen that on the Season 1 map. If you guys haven't, remember the code of the map is out. You guys can just go on my channel and look at it. If you go to the side of the plaza, you can see that there is a landmark called Crash Course, and that's exactly where Hunter crash landed when he landed on the Season 1 map, or should I say Iris. After this, he was studying the map. As you know, whenever I have Hunter going to a new map, he kind of takes the time to study it, get used to it, and, you know, just learn of the history of it, see if there's anything going on, you know what I mean, kind of just studying it. And that's what he does. He ends up studying the island. He doesn't build a base or anything, no, but something does happen interesting in the first update. So in the first update of Iris, it's called Chill Week. Essentially, this update is dedicated to Hunter throwing a massive party because, hey, we escaped Reality X, we escaped all the problems. Yes, the map was lost in the process, but we're now safe and sound. So he hosts a giant worldwide island party to celebrate. And that lasts for a week, until he notices something. He notices that as he was studying the island the week before, there was these anomalies around the map that were rifting in things from different realities, different dimensions, you know, and he wants to figure out where these are coming from. Well, he hears a giant rumble, and it's like an earthquake, essentially. It's like a giant rumble around the whole island. Now, this is after the party's over. He sees that there's a lot of energy coming from Fable Factory, so he goes over there, and he ends up finding the logo and some tech of Reality X from Artemis Chapter 2. Now, you guys are probably saying, how is it still here? I thought Artemis Chapter 2's map was sucked into a black hole. Yes, but after that, it got completely reset back to Season 1, like another cycle. And, since Reality X were on that island during that time period underneath the ground, as in the Season 2 trailer, you see a drill from Reality X that came up. That's, their tech and the logo, hence why, it got teleported from Artemis Chapter 2 to Iris. And when Hunter sees this, he's kind of skeptical, but he's also kind of worried. Like, is this a foreshadow? Is this just like something from the past coming to the, present? He doesn't know. So he decides to leave it alone. He shuts down the whole factory, and, the whole place is kind of abandoned, shut down, and it's left to just sit there because the anomaly has kind of broke through it, and it's very unstable in that area. So then he tries to find where this rumble or earthquake happened, so then he investigates the southern part of the map, and he finds out that west of Celtic City and east of Shrubby Shores, there is actually a drill spot from Reality X. Yes, Reality X is back, and they're on the island, searching for Hunter to see where he could be. Hunter doesn't know what to do in this situation. He's kind of just, stuck. He's like, how'd they get here? You know what I mean? How'd they find my location? How did they know? And he realizes that that party that they thrown the week before caused this. If it was such a worldwide party and, the whole island was celebrating, it would be so loud to the point where, hell, it can get anyone's attention from afar, you know what I mean? So he blames himself for this, this has happened, but he also wanted to give the islanders a proper peace and, welcome to the new world. Over the course of the next few weeks of Season 1, more of Reality X starts showing up, You have Spy Week, which a random anomaly opens up, the spy gang who infiltrates the whole island and makes everything spy related. It's all chaos, etc. That's gone for a week, because after that, it gets rifted away. But essentially, over the course of the updates of Season 1, more of Reality X drills start appearing around the map. And, well, Hunter then makes a worldwide announcement on the island that, hey, Reality X is back. You know what I mean? And when he makes this announcement, Reality X finds him, and that's when they let the Perfector know, hey, we have found the guy that you're looking for. Which then concludes to Season 2. Now we are on Season 2. This season is a ominous dark spy theme. It was one of my favorites. It was Lost Potential, but essentially, let's get right into it. Now, Season 2 only had one update, and that was practically when the season came out. This was during the time period where the entire year of 2024 replay mode was completely fucked, and it did not work. So, there was a lot of scrapped things into this. So, for the scrapped trailer to show how the Perfector and Reality X, appeared on the island, an anomaly opened up, and it had the drill that Reality X came from in Artemis Chapter 2 Season 2, if you guys saw the trailer again. And it also worked in the Perfector and some other things, like other drills, right? And they were like, okay, well, this is where he's at. Let's go start taking over the map and start finding him. So what they did was they go over to Sweaty Summit, they destroy it and turn it into Connected Cavern, which is their cavern POI. So then they go to Fable Factory, completely demolish that area, and turn it into Reality Resource, Perfector's HQ, essentially, his headquarters. And when Hunter sees this, he's like, okay, I gotta act fast. He gets his team back, the Undergrowthers, and he takes over Shrubby Shores, turning it into the complex, his own very much headquarters as well. So then, over the course of the season, Hunter has a plan to build a missile. Okay, now this is for lore-wise for you guys for Season 3, as you guys were questioning, why is there a nuclear missile, that hit the map during Season 3? And I'll get into that, but listen to this, okay? Hunter has a plan. He wants to build a missile, launch it in the air, and then make it stop, open up, and shoot lightning strikes down to where, there's a lot of energy conducted, which is, in this case, both Reality X POIs. So what he does is that he gets some data from one of their bases, takes it back, and underneath the agency, or the complex, should I say, I don't know if you guys have seen, there's a secret area. And that secret area is where actually Hunter is conducting this energy ball for the lightning strikes. So essentially, you go down, and it's like not really like a workshop. It's like a secret area, of course, like I mentioned, which is where the teaser for Season 2 was. But behind that stone wall, you can't break it, but that's where he's conducting this energy ball. He's creating it and such, right? And, well, the Perfector notices that, hey, some data's missing. Hunter snuck up and got us, right? And that's when, the Perfector's had enough, right? So what the Perfector does is that he actually goes over to Hunter's complex. Now, this was in the first update. He goes over to the complex and completely raids it. He ambushes Hunter. The entire right side of the complex gets destroyed, annihilated, and you could see tech missing from Hunter's complex from that room. And if you actually follow a destructive trail, it goes from that right side across the river, going all the way over to, the cavern. And, well, the destruction area ends the moment it gets to the river, but you could see that the Perfector has stolen some data and has transferred it over to his area. Hunter is like, what the heck? What do I do? So what he does is that he takes the time to rebuild the area to kind of get things settled and then see what goes from there. In the meantime, the Perfector, he sees what Hunter was planning. He sees what he was doing. He's like, this guy wants to build a missile and use a conducted energy ball to destroy our areas because we have a lot of energy. Not today. What he does instead is that he decides to build a missile of his own doing, but this time, instead of, destroying the point source and everything, destroying the realm, he wants to kill off Hunter entirely. Get him out of here so then he can continue his plan and do other things. So what he does is that he takes Hunter's plan, and builds a missile. And that's when, over the course of the updates of Season 2, he's building the missile at Connected Cavern. The entire cavern underneath is completely just gone. It collapsed, and he turns the bunker door in the middle into a missile silo, and that's when they start to get into building. So throughout the updates of Season 2, he's building the missile, and Hunter, he destroys the drill spots that were around the map during Season 1, right? To kind of get more data and to see what their, Reality X is planning. Hunter sees that they're taking the missile idea for him as that was the stolen data, so then Hunter stops the conductor of the energy ball in the basement below, underneath the complex, and starts worrying about how they'll infiltrate the cavern and, well, turn off the missile silo, aka the missile. So then fast forward to the Season 2 event. This was going to be the biggest event that I've made. It concludes the Perfector's arc, or era, in the story of my maps, and it also concludes just, well, I guess half of Hunter's story done and over with, because the rest of Iris verse 1 is the rest of his story. And the whole purpose of Artemis chapter 2 leading into Iris was because of the Perfector. I had my own very plan of having Hunter's old buddy come back and start, having a giant war with him, as you guys have seen constantly back and forth situation. And well, this season was going to end it all. So for the Season 2 event, I don't have a name for it. Essentially, Hunter asks us loopers, or us islanders, to infiltrate the base below with him. So what he does is that Hunter builds his own drills like what he used to build back in Artemis chapter 1. He puts us in the drills, and we go underneath the island. We see tunnels from Reality X, etc. We breach through one of the tunnels, and we end up underneath the island, underneath the cavern, and we see how there's a whole facility underneath the cavern where the missile silo is. So what we do is that we infiltrate the cavern, and essentially we defeat some Reality X guards here and there. Hunter goes a separate way to try to find the Perfector and such, etc, etc. He ends up finding the Perfector. So then they have a battle. We get done sabotaging some things, electricity, power, we change some areas, etc, etc. So then we go to a glass dome that's like a glass window that has a whole view of the missile silo, and we see a cutscene. I was gonna do this in a video. The whole event was gonna be like in a video type thing, but it'll be like a cutscene where you see Hunter and the Perfector battle it out. They're fighting, and with swords. Hunter uses his armor things on his arms to dodge and protect himself from the Perfector's weapon that he has, etc, etc. And it gets to the point where the Perfector's defeated finally. You know what I mean? And instead of Hunter killing him off, he takes the one last 1-point shard out of the 3 that he's had since Demons Meet BR chapter 2. If you guys remember, I said in Artemis chapter 1, he had 3 1-point shards. He used 1 at the end of chapter 1 of Artemis, right, to fix the map and to stop the Zero Heart from exploding. He used the second 1-point shard to rift away the aliens in Artemis chapter 2 season 6. And now he's using the third and final one to banish the Perfector to a different dimension. He takes out the 1-point shard, smashes on the ground, smashes it with his hand, or his foot, and it opens up a portal to another dimension. He takes the Perfector, says one final line, and throws him in. But the Perfector's like, not today. He takes out a button and launches the missile as he's being thrown in. Hunter screams, "No!" And the portal closes and the missile starts to launch. Hunter goes over to the console to try to stop the missile, but ends up failing. And that's when the missile launches. Then we get a call from Hunter, us islanders, telling to run to the nearest bunker. It's in the middle of the map, northwest of Celtic City, which is in that area. I'm gonna show it on the screen right now. So what we do is that we exit the area with Hunter, and well, the moment we leave, chaos happens. We drive dirt bikes from one side of the map to the other, And as we're driving dirt bikes to one side of the map to the other to get to the bunker, we see like Reality X and the Undergrowthers fighting back and forth, you know what I mean? And as we're doing this, we see people running, and we even see the missile flying in and out of anomaly rifts. And it's such a chaotic moment that the moment we get to the bunker, we see Hunter go into his own bunker, which was teased in the Season 3 VHS video. And well, the final cutscene shows Hunter going into his bunker. The door, right before the door shut, the missile hits the island, and the screen goes to black, and that's when Season 3 starts. Here is Season 3. This is the map, or the season that we are on right now currently, and it's basically where the Perfector's missile hits the map and completely bombs the whole bottom left section, aka Hunter's area, as that's what the original area was supposed to be. Well, Hunter comes out of the bunker and he sees the map. It is entirely ruined. You know, resources have been, you know, completely demolished almost. You know, civilization's almost gone. Hunter and Reality X's teams are gone. Hunter's organization is gone. The complex is gone slightly. There's like a little chunk of it that still remains. But all of the Perfector's POIs are gone. Hunter decides to take over Reality Resource, turn it into his own place, and what he does is that he turns the Connected Cavern into a, well, dome-like town area. And what I mean by a dome-like town area, he builds this reflector tower to reflect the radiation away from the area, essentially putting the POI into a dome named District Dome. In this case, it's basically Hunter's safe haven. It's, you know, the safe haven for himself, for the islanders, you know, since the map is entirely dumped in radiation, and, well, this new biome as named the kinetic biome, which was the biome that the bomb created. In the bottom left on the bottom left of the map, where the bomb struck, is just a giant crater. You know, it's a bomb, it's a nuke, it's a giant crater. Hunter actually figures out a plan, as seen in 3.10's update. Hunter has figured out a plan to drive away the radiation. He realizes that the only way to get rid of the radiation, you know what I mean, is to build a portal device that will create a portal and send the radiation away. It's the safest way to not destroy the map and to cause havoc. So he builds it, and, well, that's where we are right now in 3.10. He goes over to the ground zero area where the bomb struck, and he builds this little, like, outpost for himself. There's 4 giant antennas for radio signals in case if anything else were to happen. And then in the middle is the portal crater. You know, there's 3 little signal towers around it to help it with energy, and there's also, well, just the device in the middle with 3 generators that will power on. As of right now in the 3.10 update, they're all deactivated, but that area is there. Again, if you guys want to play Iris Season 3, the link is in the description down below. So then, that's where we are. Hunter has found the substance of the bomb. In the recent audio log, he says that he will power the device with this pink goo that he found when searching Ground Zero after the bomb struck. He uses that to power on the device, and where we are currently at in the terms of Season 3 and story, we are waiting for the device to power up and activate. Currently, the substance is in the portal because Hunter's going to open the portal to the place where that came from and send the radiation away into a dead reality. So that's where we are. I'm so excited to, you know, kick off the rest of Iris' story with you guys. Next update, I did say on my server, next update is the Halloween event, which I already have the name for. And, well, the map changes are going great. There's going to be new POIs, new landmarks, new weapons. I cannot wait for you guys to see. It's going to be so much fun. But essentially, thank you guys for tuning into the part 3 video of the story so far. I will then post a video later on in the seasons of Iris for part 4, aka part 2 of the Iris story so far. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning into the video, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.